the Lions wrapped up preseason with a game against the Texans. Even though the score may show it wasn't a strong show, and it was actually for a few players that have honestly earned their spots on the roster, in my opinion. Mainly the two obvious elephants in the room in terms of roster spot earning is easily Kyle Allen and Isaac Tesla. Kyle Allen, like I said, it's just crazy how after he started the preseason so terrible in the Hall of Fame game, the last 3 weeks he has turned it around and has rebounded. Without a doubt, Kyle Allen has all but earned up the backup QB spot behind Jared Goff on the roster. Isaac Tesla also once again balled out again, got another touchdown, had another great game. Just honestly, was very impressed with what I saw with Isaac Tesla throughout this preseason. Has just been an absolute baller since game one. Once again, Brad Holmes has struck gold in the third round once again with another steal. Brad Holmes has cooked once again with Isaac Tesla. And also Tesla added pretty much adding the cherry on top with that worm celebration. You already know someone's going to meme the shit out of that and put the Wiggle song in there. Because memes, damn it. But yeah, I think Isaac Tesla has once again earned the wide receiver 3 spot. Which means now this offense becomes even deadly because when Jared Goff gets out there to sling that bitch, who the fuck are you going to cover? You have the choice of either get killed by Amon-Ra, get killed by J-Mo, get killed by Laporta, get killed by either Sonic or Knuckles, or do you get killed by Tesla? And this Tesla doesn't catch on fire like those shitty cars and trucks do. Well, if this Tesla catches on fire, it's for all the right reasons and not the wrong ones like the shitty electric cars do. But yeah, outside that, defensively, a couple players stood out too. Zach Cunningham and Grant Stewart, they've both balled out throughout this preseason. I think both have earned their roster spots too. Even Hewitt has looked impressive, and I think he earned a spot too. Just the same old suspects have been balling out throughout preseason. It's a shame that Ahmed Hassani is probably out for the year with that injury, since it sounded like he's done for the year, which that sucks for him because he was an absolute baller too. And he would have most likely been the starter by mid-season if we don't bring in Cedarius Smith, because Marcus Davenport's probably going to go down again. And if Marcus Davenport goes down, we're screwed on that other edge rusher spot. The only other option these next 2 weeks to fix that problem is either bring back Cedarius Smith or maybe do something crazy, like maybe go get Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals. Cincinnati's finally listening to offers, since it looks like that extension isn't happening, and that thing's about to fall apart. There's always been rumors throughout the offseason about the Lions being interested in Trey Hendrickson. Will the Lions do it? It could, but I highly doubt it because he's going to want a new extension right off the bat, so that's a two-part thing. The Lions are in the Super Bowl window. It's win now time. If the Lions are serious about winning a Super Bowl this year or in the future, in the next few years, they got to start being aggressive here, and I think they got to make that bold move. It's time for Brad Holmes to make that bold plan and make those bold moves. I think getting Trey Hendrickson would be a bold one too. Will it happen? Time will tell. For now, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens these next 2 weeks. But yeah, just, the one negative about this once again was Hendon Hooker, as I think Hendon Hooker has all but played himself out of a spot in Detroit. Easily Hooker is going to go down as a massive bust. And that sucks for Hooker. I actually had high hopes for Hooker and I thought he was going to do well this preseason. He just couldn't execute. Just couldn't stop turning the damn ball over. And to think, people actually wanted this Hendon Hooker to be the starter over Jared Goff. Really? This is what you wanted? Yeah, now all the Jared Goff haters can learn the hard way that finding a franchise quarterback isn't as easy as you all thought it was. There's actually a lot that goes into it. behind the scenes. Too bad Lions fan base. Too bad the Jared Goff haters don't have enough chromosomes to comprehend that and be mentally capable of learning their lesson. And they'll probably repeat this mistake in the draft next year when the Lions go like get another QB in the late rounds to get the next hot flavor of the month. But yeah, honestly, I wouldn't say necessarily cut Hooker, but maybe look at trying to trade him for a late round pick to a QB needy team. You know, I know the Jets and the Saints might be looking at a QB. Maybe go that route. Like, I know there were rumors that Aaron Glenn with the Jets was interested in bringing Hendon Hooker over. Maybe try and work out a deal with him for a late round pick, like a 5th or 6th or even a 7th round pick. I'll take any late round pick, to be honest, for Hooker. Just get his ass the fuck off this roster. But yeah, you know, even though the Lions lost, you know, preseason's officially over, which means now it's 2 weeks left to face Green Bay, to get ready for Green Bay to decide the head of the NFC North table. And for Green Bay to acknowledge the tribal chief of the NFC North. And of course, in 2 weeks, the time begins to defend the belt again. Yes, this briefcase here is where I store the title belt. A nice gold briefcase to represent the championship gold this team, the Lions, need to go chase this year. As now, with preseason over, time to defend the NFC North Championship again, with the first challenge right off the bat against the Packers in 2 weeks. And oh, if you give Dan Campbell 2 weeks to prepare for Matt LaFleur and the Packers, oh, you already know what's coming to Lambeau, aka Ford Field West, in 2 weeks' times. 3 words. Belt to ass time. And also 2 weeks to get ready for Packers War Week. As for 2025, let's start this season off with a bang. But before we get there, wait, I do got some playoff predictions. As usually, as channel tradition for the last week of preseason, we usually go over my playoff predictions for the upcoming season. So with that said, I will cut the camera off, and you'll see photos and voices for the remainder of this recap. So, without further ado, here are the playoff predictions I have for 2025-2026. Starting off with the AFC playoff picture. The AFC, I think it's going to be a bit played out like last year. AFC West, I think even despite some of the rumors around the Chiefs possibly falling back after last year, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Chiefs are still going to be one of the top teams in the AFC. I think they're going to still be one of the top 2-3 seeds. And I think the Chiefs will still once again win the AFC West. Although I think the Chargers will keep it close this time around. AFC East, yeah, that division, it's Buffalo's division to lose. As, yeah, I got the Bills once again claiming the AFC East. AFC North's a little bit tricky, as it was really between Baltimore and Cincinnati for me. But in the end, I'm going to lean more toward Baltimore for the edge in the AFC to take the AFC North again. I was thinking about Cincinnati, but I think Cincinnati's going to get off to another slow start in the season. I think that slow start's going to end up costing them the AFC North. And the AFC South, that division's such a fucking dump. Like, Houston's the only good team in that division. Like, honestly, all Houston has to do to win the South is just go 9-8, and then they clinch by default. Like, that division's so bad. Like, whoever clinches it, wins by default. So, yeah, since everybody sucks and Houston's the only competent team in the South, I have the Texans winning the South by default. And then for the wild cards, I have Cincinnati and the LA Chargers in on wild cards. And I debated this last one, but I feel like even despite some of the drama around the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers being a washed-up bum, I still think the Steelers are going to go 9-8, pull another 9-8 season out of their ass and bullshit their way into the last playoff spot. Because that's the Steeler way to bullshit their way in. So, yeah, those are my AFC playoff pick predictions for this season. Now to the NFC side of the predictions. The NFC East, the NFC East, we've had a different winner in the NFC East since the mid-2000s. I think that trend's going to snap, as Philadelphia still has the best roster in the NFC East. And I think the Eagles will break the trend, and I think the Eagles will win back-to-back NFC East titles. So I think the Eagles pick up right back where they left off from their Super Bowl win. But Washington's going to make it interesting, though, that's for sure. As long as Jaden Daniels doesn't fall into a sophomore slump, which I don't think he will go into a slump. NFC North, I don't understand the hype behind Green Bay and Minnesota. They're not as good as everybody says they are, as that is still Detroit's division to lose. Like, I think Detroit's winning that division. It's not going to be close. Like, Green Bay's only high potential is wild card, because Jordan Love is not the franchise guy. Like, everyone likes to hype him up and put the Packers on a pedestal to be. Like, Minnesota's going to regress massively. They're not going to get as lucky as they did last year, especially with J.J. McCarthy coming in. And the Bears are going to be still learning some things under Ben Johnson. And Caleb looked like a mess last year. NFC West, I think the San Francisco 49ers will bounce back and win the West. The Rams will keep it close and interesting. But also with the Rams... Also, the Rams season this year, it also depends on how healthy Stafford is. And I think Seattle's going to take a massive step back this year with Sam Darnold in over being the QB now with Geno Smith gone. Like, I think the Seahawks are about to really fall apart here. I think the Seahawks fans are going to realize quickly that Sam Darnold last year was just a one-year flash in the pan. And the NFC South's a bit interesting. It was really between Atlanta and Tampa Bay for me. But in the end, I like what Atlanta's doing right now, and I think they're doing a lot of things in the right direction. And I'm going to say the Falcons are going to return to the playoffs and win the NFC South. And in terms of my wild card predictions, I have Washington and the LA Rams in a wild card. And then the last one was a tough one. The last spot was between Tampa Bay and Green Bay for me. In the end, I'm going to lean toward Tampa Bay. I just think Tampa Bay's defense can shut anybody down when it comes time to it. And Tampa plays pretty tough. So I got Tampa in over Green Bay. But I think it's going to be very close. But yeah, those are my 2025-2026 NFL playoff predictions. Let's play ball in 2 weeks. COO for Packers War Week in 2 weeks. I'm out.